Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Master Guide Mysore. Today let us understand the results of Venus when it is positioned in the second house. We all know that the second house has a lot of characteristics, important ones, and the most important ones are it's actually the expression of the face, the food what we eat because it is Annasthana, the wealth because it is Dhanasthana. It is also primary education, that is the time what an infant spends with his mother and whatever he learns from her in that initial stages of life. So there are many other characteristics also, like Kutumbasthana, that is also the house of family. So let us understand when Shukra is placed there, that is Venus is placed there in the second house, what actually might happen or what might the results be. So firstly, the second house covers the body part starting from the forehead till the chin. So most of the face. Though there are many other things like the ear comes in the third house. So but the face, the expressions, the eyes comes in the second house. Particularly if you go to the higher levels, then the right eye falls in the second house and the left eye falls in the 12th house from the ascendant. But on the overall, eyes, eyebrows and all major characteristics of expression, the smile, the complexion of the face, all this comes in the second house. I had earlier told you in the first house, when Venus is in the first house, that they have an attractive face, no doubt. But to have an attractive expression, to have an attractive smile, second house has to be very well placed. You need to have that what we call as the wit to talk, to sit with people and to have a good conversation, to laugh, to have cut jokes, to laugh, not to be sarcastically cutting jokes. What I am trying to tell you is to laugh, freely laugh. So these things happen when you have a beautiful Shukra placed in the second house, which is unafflicted. But as on date, I am not talking about affliction of Shukra because it takes a lot of time to cover that particular chapter. I have done it with other planets, but still, please take it, a little modified and reversed when it is afflicted. If a person has a facial expression, it is flawless, clean, honest expression, then Shukra is, unafflicted and well positioned in the second house. So if it is weak, then the person has difficulties in expressing things. And if it is retro, then there are, underlying meaning behind the expressions. So this is how actually we go into the details when we do different transformations of a, planetary avastha. But as on date, we'll just go for pure Venus in the second house. These people are very good presenters. They present things very well. So they can be anchors in front of the camera. They are not shy. They are bold because it is also representing the tongue, the Vaksthana. So sweet tongue, they want to eat good things because it is the house of Anna, that is food. So they like good preparations. They like variety of food. They usually are people who, choose the food according to the taste, and also they are having acute properties of taste. So these people, you cannot just tell I have cooked something and you eat it. They may eat it because of the respect and the regular routine. But still, if you are really going to take a person with Venus in the second house on a date, take her to a beautiful restaurant which serves good, well prepared and well presented food. The food should not be only tasty and just presented just like that. It has to be well presented also. So decorated, what we call as, there are many different types of food decoration, and they love this. They love this presentation. They love good dresses. They love good jewelry. They love many things. Let me come one by one. So they love cooking themselves. So cooking is a very good, time pass or a hobby or even professionally, these people can make money by being, having a gourmet shop or a pastry shop or even a boutique or a spa. These people can make very good business in that particular area of business. So particularly they like tangy food, what we call as the katta meetha. They don't like very hot food. They don't like very spicy food, or they do not like too much of pungent. So they like this sweet and sour kind of a taste, which is very much acceptable to them. So second house also means immovable property, assets and wealth. Venus in the second house itself gives rise to a very strong Raja Yoga until and unless it's having a very bad lordship. But normally Venus, for all the lagnas, normally Venus in the second house gives a very good favorable position with regard to comfort in wealth and property. In rare cases, when it also becomes the eighth lord, like for example in the case of Pisces, or in the case of its own ascendant like Libra. So there are chances that people might get locked up into litigations with regard to property. It all depends. If the person gets locked up into property litigation, that doesn't mean that he always loses all his property. It is like most of the cases get resolved, but in certain cases it happens that it might take some time, giving rise to a lot of tension. Usually Venus people are little lethargic, slow, easygoing. As I told you yesterday, when Venus is in the first house, they love comfort, they love luxury. So these people also like to spend time reading, because second house and third house is for reading and writing. So these people spend time, for watching. They love to watch good things in their life. They love to travel. They love to cross frontiers, like crossing countries. They would love to go and watch other, good spots in other countries. So these people have rich taste in clothing, jewelry, ornaments, particularly, gemstones. They love these necklaces. Women love necklaces, and men, they love their gadgets. The watches, the shoes, the belts, the spectacles. They would want to go for the best. So second house means that they know how to make money, and they also know how to spend it. So particularly Venus in the 12th house, people know how to spend their money in the best way to realize all the sensual pleasures, provided it is unafflicted. If it is afflicted, you will get caught into indulgence. So spending money to, enjoy your life is different, but spending money unnecessarily getting indulged is once again a very different issue. So let us not go into the negative part of Venus. Venus is a very feminine, highly, this is a top 100% feminine planet. And with a good Venus in the second house, a person would love, to be around people who are soft, timid. I'm not telling all females are timid and soft, okay? I know many people who are very strong and aggressive, and they even protest when they are unnecessarily snubbed. So I'm not talking about that, but still it's the normal character of a female that she loves peace, she loves to be cared, she loves harmony, she loves the family, she loves everybody to sit around, chit chat, have a nice time. The same character will come to a person who has a Venus in the second house, which is unafflicted. So initial education is very good, because it's primary education with the mother, the time with the infant spends with his mother for the first few years, the balyavastha, what we call as the stage of infancy. And on the whole, this is a okay position. This is a mediocre position, because Venus is not a great planet to be in the second house, as the second house is also known as the house of Marakasthana. That is a planet which also gains the strength to inflict death-like situations to the native. So what actually happens when Venus, such a beautiful planet, why should he become a Maraka when he is sitting in the second house? The problem here is that Venus actually represents all the materialistic affiliations a person will have in this world, like the car, like the automobile, the car, the flight what he takes, the luxurious goods what he uses, the bike what he rides, the place where he stays, the place where he tours. So most of the dreams and thoughts a person would get in his life, which would actually get translated into his future life. I feel like if I feel like going to the Himalayas for a wonderful vacation, not for the trekking purpose, because this is Venus. Let us say that I would want to go for a wonderful vacation. And if this feeling keeps coming inside very strongly, then one day I will book my tickets, to Hardwar or to Shimla or any other place in Uttarakhand or Uttaranchal or even in Nepal, and to go to the foothills of Himalayas and spend time. So cold weather is also related with frostbite, with many other problems, but the thought provoked by Venus might make me go through a journey which might be hazardous. So hazardous problems, which is because of the Venus being placed in the Marakasthana, might come from anywhere. Accidents can happen from anywhere. I'm not telling no to it, but still this Venus in the second house gives a lot of opportunity to for spontaneity. These people are very spontaneous. They are like, let's go for a drive and have coffee far away. They travel around 50 kilometers for coffee. So these people are very peculiarly particular with regard to their food, with regard to what they want to buy, with regard to the gadgets what they want to use. So with regard to where they have to invest the money and how big the house should be, these people will have very big houses. If Venus is well placed and the Dhanasthana, the second lord, is extremely well placed and the fourth lord is good, then these people will have palatial houses. They will have ornamental, decorations in the house. These people like paintings, they like drawings. Usually when Venus is strong in the chart, people tend to collect fine arts. And these people will buy fine arts. Because it's in the second house, they make it a passion to collect, fine arts, and which will again take their value higher. So this is a beautiful position for the mother of the native, because there will be very good relationship between the native and his or her mother. So that's also because Venus is in the 11th house from the 4th house, that is for the mother. But it is not such a great position for the father. And why it is like that is because the second house becomes the, let us count and tell, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 1st and 2nd. So it becomes the Rogasthana for the father of the native. So it's not such a great position for the father, but it's a beautiful position for the mother. And people with Venus in the second house, usually unafflicted Venus, will always be a vegetarian in their style of food, but they can easily tend to start having liquor or alcoholic beverages. So I'll not call it beverage, I'll call it alcohol. So this tendency is more faster when Venus is there, and they love to have spend more time in the evenings rather than in the mornings, early mornings. So this tendency happens when I'm just giving you an insight, a different type of an insight. The brighter half and the dark half of any horoscope is to be seen from the 7th to the 1st and the 1st to the 7th. We have to divide the chart like that. Like, for example, So, if the horoscope can be drawn like a circle, and you have the first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, and seventh house. In this, these are the houses which are known as the dark half. Dark half in the sense, scientifically I am telling this. I am not, please don't refer into some books which I might have told something else and then tell me no. These are the constellations which are available to be seen in the sky at the time of birth of this native. So the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh, half of it, wherever the line, let us say this is 20 degrees and this is 20 degrees in the seventh house, just draw a straight line, and these signs were all below the horizon and these signs were all above the horizon, and this was on the head, that is the 10th house. The 10th house, it was on the head. So this is the house which is actually known as the karmasthana, because it's on our head. It has too much of bearing on our way of what we do, our karma. And the other one which is the fourth house, which is known as the nadir. This is the zenith, this is the nadir. So this has a bearing also, because this is the sukha sthana. So this is sukha and this is karma. So more the karma, less the sukha. More the sukha, less the karma. So all female planets, they are happy here. They are very happy here. All the enlightenment happens here. All the work, the pressure, the desire, the father, the luck, all these things happen here. Here the motherly love, the expenses for the building a house, taking loans, your enemies, your mother's love when you were infant, your food habits, all this comes here. So usually planets which are soft in nature, like what we call as more mild, timid planets like Venus, Mercury and Moon, they all love to be in a cooler place. So they all give excellent results when they are from 1 to 7, but still the Dikbala for planets keep changing. So it Mercury gets it somewhere in the 9th and the 10th. So there is a lot of different concepts here. I am just giving you one concept. The cooler the planet in the first half, the more the person is trying to be lethargic and comfortable. You need to have strong aggressive planets like Mars in the 3rd house, Sun in the 4th house, Sun in the 5th house. These people are energetic, strong. So if you have Jupiter in the 2nd house, Venus in the 3rd house, Moon in the 4th house, oh my God, these people would want to enjoy their life. Where is the time for study or going for a job or anything like that? Because this is what is known as the brighter half and the darker half. It's my perspective. Please take it directly. So I hope I have given you some clarity on Venus and also about the brighter and the darker halves of the chart. I will make this particular thing into a better video, where the axis 1 and 7 and then the planets on either side and how active the life was. I will put some charts, live charts, so we can understand from that. Thank you very much for today's class.